Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're tackling a heavily misunderstood and honestly kind of gross aspect of your home. We're looking at a fantastic breakdown from Dr. Drain titled Storm Drain versus Sewer Drain: What Homeowners Get Wrong. We're going to take a critical look at a really costly, incredibly messy mistake that so many homeowners unknowingly make pretty much every single day.
So let me just start by asking you this. Do you actually know where your water goes? Like when you flush a toilet, run the kitchen sink, or even just watch rain pour off your gutters and into the street grate, do you know the exact path that water is taking? Most of us just assume it all magically disappears into some giant underground abyss. But as you're about to see, that assumption, it's incredibly dangerous.
Okay, let's dive into this. The absolute core of today's explainer is understanding this critical dichotomy. You basically have two entirely different systems working around your home, and they have very, very specific jobs. On one side, we've got storm drains, which deal exclusively with rainwater and send it straight out to local waterways. And on the other side, we have sanitary sewers, which handle the much more complex household wastewater and route it over to specialized treatment facilities. Let's break these down to be crystal clear. Your sanitary sewer is the heavy lifter for the inside of your house. It's purposefully built to move your household wastewater. So we're talking about everything that goes down the drains of your toilets, sinks, showers, and washing machines. And let's be real, this water is dirty. It's carrying human waste, soaps, harsh chemicals, food scraps, the whole shebang. Because of that, this system routes directly toward a treatment facility where it goes through extensive processing before that water is ever released back into the environment.
Now, let's look at the other half of the puzzle, the storm drain. This system is designed solely to handle Mother Nature. Its one and only job is to carry rainwater and runoff from your rooftops, your streets, and your yards. But here is the absolutely vital difference. This water goes directly to nearby waterways. There's no treatment facility in between. It flows straight into our local streams, lakes, and rivers, completely untreated.
Section 1. The mix-up. When worlds collide. And this brilliantly illustrates what happens when we mix these two up. It turns routine maintenance into an expensive emergency or a major environmental violation. When homeowners treat these systems like they're interchangeable, the damages are totally distinct. On the sewer side, dumping cooking grease, heavy food waste, and those supposedly flushable wipes into household drains builds these massive, stubborn clogs in your sanitary lines. On the storm drain side, well, when yard debris, litter, or outdoor chemicals get swept into those street grates, they aren't just causing a clog, they're washing directly into local streams. So you're either destroying your home's pipes, or you're literally polluting the local ecosystem. There's another really fascinating concept from the source material called downstream expectations. Because these systems are built differently, they behave completely differently when they fail. Storm drains typically flow during rainfall, right? They have open inlets, so if they fail, it's pretty much always while it's raining. Sewer lines, however, run pressurized or gravity-fed year-round. This means your sewer line can suffer a catastrophic, deeply messy backup into your home on a perfectly sunny, completely dry day if a blockage is formed. It absolutely does not need rain to fail. Section 2. Myth-busting homeowner assumptions. All right, it's time to bust some myths, mostly driven by our naive, out-of-sight, out-of-mind homeowner mentality. Myth number 1, if water goes down, it must be fine. We've all been there. You pour something questionable down the sink, it swirls away, and you just wash your hands of the situation. It vanished, so not a problem, right? Yeah, wrong. Time for a massive reality check. Just because water goes down doesn't mean it's safely on its way. It entirely depends on the connection. The source material emphasizes that making assumptions is incredibly risky because homes have varied pathways. Like, some neighborhoods have perfectly separated infrastructure, but others might have older, shared pipes. If you just blindly assume your lines are built to handle whatever you throw at them, you are taking a massive financial risk. Let's move to our next homeowner myth. A clog is a clog, same fix. Just plunge it, snake it, pour some harsh chemicals on it, and you're good to go, regardless of where the backup is happening. Now, what's really interesting about this is how completely different the symptoms actually are. A clog behaves starkly differently depending on the system. If you have a clog in your sanitary sewer, the symptoms are, frankly, horrifying. We're talking foul odors and raw wastewater backing up right into your sinks or tubs. Contrast that with storm drain problems. A clog there results in surface flooding in your yard, incredibly slow runoff, and standing water near the street grates. They require completely different approaches to fix. And here is the granddaddy of them all. Myth number 3. All drains lead to the same place.
This is probably the single most common misconception out there. So many people just assume there's one giant pipe under the city handling absolutely everything. But that is entirely false. City planners and municipalities purposely separate stormwater and sanitary wastewater systems, and the reason why is absolutely crucial. If they didn't, every single time there was a massive rainstorm, the huge influx of water would completely overwhelm the treatment plants. The result? Raw, untreated sewage would spill directly into our local waterways. Separating them is a critical design choice to protect public health and the environment. Section 3. Your action plan. Protecting your drains. Let's get incredibly practical and look at how you can protect your home right now. The source lays out 4 crystal clear habits you need to adopt. First, know your drain map. Figure out which drains in your yard handle stormwater and which pipes leave your house as sanitary lines. Second, keep storm inlets entirely clear. Rake those leaves away, clean up pet waste, and pick up trash so it doesn't wash into the waterways. Third, and this is a huge one, avoid flushing the wrong items indoors. Limit anything labeled flushable, because those wipes are notorious for destroying pipes, and absolutely never, ever pour cooking grease down the sink. Finally, use correct hazardous disposal for chemicals. Never pour paint or oil down any drain. Now, I really want to slow down for a second and emphasize this next point. Address early warning signs immediately. Listen to your house. If you notice slow drains or if you hear a strange gurgling sound coming from your sanitary lines when you run the water, do not ignore it. A gurgling sink today is literally trying to warn you about a catastrophic, highly expensive, full sewer backup tomorrow. Catching it early saves your wallet and your sanity. But let's say you've done your absolute best and things are still going wrong. That brings us to the final stage of homeowner troubleshooting, knowing exactly when to throw in the towel. So when is it time to call a professional? Dr. Drain details some very specific, severe symptoms that tell you it's time to call a licensed plumber or a local drainage contractor. If you smell sewage odors in your home, you need a pro. If you have repeated backups across multiple fixtures, like say your sink backs up when the shower is running, that is a massive red flag. If wastewater starts actively rising in your toilets or basement floor drains, or if you have persistent, stubborn yard pooling after rain that simple cleaning just won't fix, it's time to make the call. And there's a really great benefit to calling a professional beyond just getting the gross mess cleaned up. A pro has the tools, like those cool camera inspections, to actually diagnose the scope of the problem. They can confirm whether this is an isolated issue on your property that you are responsible for, or, and this is key, if it's related to a larger municipal network failure that the city actually needs to address. It might not even be your fault. So, the crucial point is this. To quote the source directly, treating them as interchangeable is where most problems begin. Storm drains move rainwater. Sewer drains move wastewater. They are 2 entirely different worlds, and respecting that boundary is the ultimate key to home maintenance. Which leaves us with one final incredibly important question to ponder. Take a look at your own habits around the house. Are you treating your drains right, or are you accidentally setting yourself up for a nasty, expensive surprise? Take a moment to understand your system today. For sure, it will save your money, protect your home, and safeguard our local waterways tomorrow. Thanks for diving deep into the pipes with us on this explainer, and we'll see you next time.